Imagine for a moment that success is not a mystery, not a privilege, and not a matter of luck, but a system governed by laws as real and dependable as the laws of nature. If that is true, then failure is not fate, and success is not reserved for the chosen few. It becomes a skill, a mindset, a discipline that anyone willing to learn and apply can master. Every great achievement you admire, every story of triumph that inspires you, follows the same invisible blueprint. Tonight, you are not here to hear motivation that fades by morning. You are here to discover principles that endure, principles that work quietly but relentlessly behind every lasting success. What you are about to hear has the power to change the way you think, the way you act, and ultimately the direction of your life. If you listen closely and apply even one of these laws, your perspective will shift. If you commit to them fully, your results will never be the same. Stay with me until the end, because the difference between where you are now and where you want to be may lie in understanding and applying what comes next. Definiteness of purpose is the foundation upon which all meaningful success is built, because without a clear and specific aim, effort becomes scattered and energy is wasted. When a person defines a purpose, the mind is given a fixed destination, and every thought, decision, and action begins to align toward that objective. A definite purpose acts as a mental compass, guiding behavior even in moments of confusion, doubt, or difficulty. It transforms vague wishes into deliberate intention and replaces uncertainty with direction. People who lack definiteness of purpose often remain busy yet unproductive, moving constantly without measurable progress, while those with a clear aim advance steadily even when circumstances appear unfavorable. A definite purpose also strengthens desire. Because clarity intensifies emotional commitment, the mind responds more powerfully to a precise goal than to a general hope. Once the purpose is clearly defined, it begins to influence the subconscious mind, shaping habits, sharpening awareness, and attracting ideas and opportunities relevant to that goal. Challenges are no longer seen as reasons to quit, but as problems to be solved, because the purpose gives meaning to struggle. It also improves decision-making, as choices are filtered through the question of whether they move one closer to or further from the defined objective. Time, effort, and resources are used more effectively because priorities become clear. Definiteness of purpose encourages persistence, since a clearly seen goal provides motivation during periods of slow progress or temporary failure. It fosters confidence as well, because knowing what one wants reduces hesitation and self-doubt. The discipline required to define a purpose forces self-examination, compelling an individual to confront their true ambitions rather than borrowed desires or societal expectations. This clarity creates internal alignment, reducing inner conflict and strengthening resolve. Over time, a definite purpose shapes identity, influencing how a person sees themselves and how others perceive them. It becomes the central organizing principle of life, quietly directing growth, learning, and action toward a singular outcome, ensuring that effort is not merely expended, but invested with intention and focus. Mastery of thought is the ability to consciously direct the mind, instead of allowing it to be controlled by external circumstances, emotions, or habitual reactions. And it plays a decisive role in determining success or failure. Every action originates as a thought, and repeated thoughts gradually solidify into beliefs, habits, and character. When the mind is left undisciplined, negative thinking such as fear, doubt, anger, or procrastination takes control, quietly shaping decisions and limiting potential. Mastery of thought means recognizing that the mind is both a tool and a responsibility, capable of creating confidence or destruction depending on how it is used. By deliberately choosing constructive thoughts, a person begins to influence their behavior, their attitude toward challenges, and their interpretation of setbacks. Thoughts act as instructions to the subconscious mind, which then works continuously to translate those instructions into reality through behavior, perception, and emotional responses. A mind trained to focus on solutions rather than problems develops resilience, because difficulties are seen as temporary conditions rather than permanent barriers. Mastery of thought also enhances self-belief, as repeated positive and purposeful thinking gradually replaces internal resistance with inner certainty. It strengthens emotional control, allowing an individual to remain calm and rational under pressure instead of reacting impulsively. This control leads to better judgment, improved relationships, and more consistent performance. When thoughts are aligned with clear goals, the mind becomes more alert to opportunities, ideas, and information that support progress, while distractions lose their influence. Fear, which often blocks action, diminishes when thoughts are directed toward preparation, learning, and growth. Mastery of thought does not imply ignoring reality, but rather choosing empowering interpretations of reality that encourage action instead of paralysis. Over time, disciplined thinking reshapes identity, turning self-doubt into confidence and confusion into clarity. The individual becomes less dependent on external motivation and more driven by internal direction, as the mind learns to sustain focus and enthusiasm independently of circumstances. This mental discipline quietly governs behavior, persistence, and creativity, influencing outcomes long before results become visible in the physical world. Persistence over circumstances is the principle that sustained effort, applied consistently over time, has greater power than talent, luck, or favorable conditions because circumstances are always changing while determined action remains within personal control. Every worthwhile goal encounters resistance in the form of delay, opposition, failure, or uncertainty, and it is persistence that prevents temporary obstacles from becoming permanent defeats. Many people begin with enthusiasm, but withdraw when results are slow or challenges intensify, allowing circumstances to dictate their actions. Persistence reverses this pattern by anchoring behavior to commitment rather than mood or convenience. It is the decision to continue moving forward regardless of discouragement, fatigue, or external pressure. When persistence is practiced, the mind adapts to difficulty, developing resilience and emotional strength. Repeated effort builds momentum, and momentum gradually reduces the perceived size of obstacles. Persistence also sharpens skill, because continuous effort leads to learning, refinement, and improvement that cannot be achieved through sporadic action. Each attempt, even when unsuccessful, provides information that increases the likelihood of success in the next effort. Circumstances such as limited resources, criticism, or unexpected setbacks lose their power when persistence transforms them into conditions to be managed rather than excuses to retreat. The persistent individual develops confidence rooted not in immediate success, but in the knowledge that they will not abandon their objective. This confidence influences behavior, communication, and decision-making, often attracting support and opportunities that would otherwise remain unavailable. Persistence strengthens discipline, as it requires the consistent application of effort long after initial motivation has faded. Over time, what once required great effort becomes habit, reducing resistance and increasing efficiency. While circumstances are unpredictable and often uncontrollable, persistence remains a PERS. Personal choice, exercised daily through action. It is this steady refusal to quit that allows ordinary individuals to achieve extraordinary outcomes, not by avoiding difficulty, but by outlasting it through unwavering commitment and continuous effort. Self-discipline and faith work together as essential forces in the achievement of success, because discipline governs behavior, while faith sustains belief in the desired outcome. Self-discipline is the ability to direct actions, thoughts, and emotions according to purpose rather than impulse, comfort, or immediate gratification. It requires conscious control over habits, reactions, and time, ensuring that daily behavior aligns with long-term goals. Without discipline, talent remains unused and knowledge is wasted, as progress depends on consistent, intentional action rather than occasional effort. Faith, on the other hand, provides the inner conviction that effort will eventually produce results even when evidence is not immediately visible. It is the belief in one's ability, direction, and capacity to overcome obstacles. When faith is absent, discipline weakens because doubt erodes motivation and invites hesitation. Together, discipline and faith create balance. Discipline enforces action, while faith sustains endurance. Self-discipline enables an individual to act in spite of fear, fatigue, or uncertainty, while faith quiets inner resistance and reinforces commitment during moments of delay or failure. Emotional control is a key aspect of self-discipline, as unchecked emotions often lead to impulsive decisions that undermine progress. Through disciplined thinking, one learns to respond thoughtfully rather than react instinctively. Faith strengthens this process by replacing fear with confidence and worry with expectation. Over time, repeated acts of discipline reinforce faith, as small wins and consistent effort build trust in one's ability to follow through. Likewise, faith encourages discipline by giving purpose to sacrifice and effort. This combination develops inner authority, reducing dependence on external validation or encouragement. An individual guided by self-discipline and faith becomes steady under pressure, resilient in adversity, and focused in action. They measure progress by commitment rather than immediate reward and remain loyal to their purpose even when results are slow or invisible. Through continuous application, discipline and faith reshape character, transforming intention into reliable action and belief into sustained momentum toward achievement. Specialized knowledge applied is the principle that information alone has little value unless it is focused, organized, and put into deliberate action toward a definite objective. In a world filled with endless information, success does not belong to those who know the most, but to those who know what is necessary for their purpose and use it effectively. Specialized knowledge is acquired through study, experience, and observation within a specific field, and its power emerges only when it is translated into practice. Many individuals accumulate facts, theories, and credentials, yet fail to produce results because their knowledge remains unused or scattered. Application transforms learning into skill and skill into measurable progress. When knowledge is applied, it becomes refined through real-world feedback, allowing errors to be corrected and methods improved. This process deepens understanding far beyond what passive learning can achieve. Applied knowledge builds confidence, as repeated use strengthens competence and reduces uncertainty. It also encourages initiative, because understanding how something works reduces fear of failure and increases willingness to act. Specialized knowledge gains greater value when aligned with a clear purpose, as direction determines which information is relevant and which can be ignored. Without purpose, knowledge becomes fragmented and overwhelming. When purpose is present, learning becomes selective and efficient. Applied knowledge also increases adaptability, since practical experience reveals how principles function under changing conditions. It sharpens judgment, enabling quicker and more accurate decisions. Through consistent application, knowledge evolves into mastery, creating distinction and authority within a chosen field. This mastery attracts opportunity, trust, and recognition, as others seek those who demonstrate results rather than theory. The habit of applying knowledge also cultivates continuous growth, as action exposes new areas for learning and improvement. In this way, success is not achieved by accumulation of information, but by the disciplined practice of relevant knowledge, steadily converting understanding into value through purposeful execution. Harmony with others is a powerful force in the achievement of success, because progress is rarely the result of isolated effort, but rather the product of coordinated cooperation and mutual understanding. When individuals work in harmony, their combined strengths multiply, creating results far greater than what could be achieved alone. Harmony begins with respect for differing perspectives, recognizing that diversity of thought enhances creativity and problem-solving. Conflict, when driven by ego, pride, or misunderstanding, drains energy and disrupts focus, while harmony channels effort toward shared objectives. Successful cooperation requires emotional intelligence, including the ability to listen, empathize, and communicate clearly. These skills reduce friction and build trust, which is essential for effective collaboration. Trust allows ideas to flow freely, encourages honest feedback, and strengthens commitment to common goals. Harmony also increases efficiency, as coordinated effort minimizes wasted time and reduces resistance within teams or partnerships. When people feel valued and understood, motivation rises naturally, leading to greater engagement and sustained effort. Harmonious relationships create an environment where individuals are willing to contribute their best abilities without fear of criticism or exploitation. This cooperative atmosphere attracts support, opportunities, and alliances that might otherwise remain inaccessible. Harmony with others also supports personal growth, as interaction exposes individuals to new ideas, skills, and perspectives that expand understanding. It fosters adaptability, teaching patience and flexibility in dealing with differing personalities and challenges. In professional and personal endeavors, harmony enhances leadership, as people willingly follow those who promote fairness, clarity, and mutual benefit. It reduces stress and emotional resistance, allowing focus to remain on progress rather than conflict. Over time, consistent harmony builds a reputation for reliability and integrity, making collaboration easier and more productive. Success sustained over long periods depends not only on individual ability, but on the capacity to maintain constructive relationships that align effort, intention, and action toward shared achievement. In conclusion, the 17 universal laws of success remind us that achievement is not mysterious or accidental, but the natural result of understanding and living by proven principles. When purpose is clearly defined, the mind is disciplined, effort is persistent, and actions are guided by faith, knowledge, and cooperation, success becomes a predictable outcome rather than a distant hope. These laws work in harmony, each strengthening the other, shaping character, sharpening focus, and transforming ordinary effort into extraordinary results. They demand responsibility, consistency, and courage, but they reward those qualities with progress, fulfillment, and lasting achievement. Success is not found in wishing or waiting, but in daily alignment with these principles through thought, action, and discipline. Good luck as you apply these laws in your own journey. May your purpose remain clear, your effort persistent, and your belief unshaken as you move toward your goals. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your commitment to growth and success.